Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Coach Mo here. I am affectionately known as Coach Mo. My name is Bernice Oliver. I am also known as Queen Quiet Storm, the calm in your business chaos. I work with insurance agents and sales producers to work on their productivity, to work on their sales development and sales goals to help them achieve greater success of where they desire to be and to make sense of all the chaos that goes on in their day-to-day business. So welcome to the chaos tip of the day. Glad you could join us. And the reason I wanted to pop on today and just kind of share a little bit with you about how to create some sales goals that really work. I've been having some conversations with a lot of agents these past couple of weeks because obviously it's the first of the year and it's time to, reset those goals and reset some mindsets about how you're going to achieve those big goals that you set for yourself and maybe for your agency. And how do you, most importantly though, how do you plan to get there? So here is what I have discovered is a common challenge that most insurance agents and sales producers have is that most often the sales goals are incomplete. That's it. They're incomplete. They have a tendency, and I'll be the first to raise my hand when I was selling insurance, is that, we set the ultimate goal as the outcome, but we haven't figured out all the steps and the process of how we're going to get there to achieve the goals and the level of success that we desire. And so I wanted to share with you kind of my thoughts and some tips and tools about how you can manage the chaos of creating sales goals that really work. So here are two philosophies of mine. There are two types of goals. One is the end result goal, and two are your daily and weekly behavior goals that are going to get you where you want to go. So real simple, your end result goal, number one, and then number two, your daily and your weekly goals about how you're going to get there. So it's so important. The end results goals are important. And they're important because why? Because that's where we're going. We got to set some goals in place to shoot for. If you don't set goals, you're not going to be able to achieve and win those awards that you desire to achieve and get the financial goals that you're looking for. And maybe, go out and take that wonderful vacation trip that you're looking to take by the end of the year. Whatever it is you've set, your goal that you set for yourself, you got to have something to shoot for, right? So that's number one. But number two, here is something that I think we kind of gloss over and we miss. And so I want you to write it down. I want you to put a star by this one. Your daily and your weekly behavior goals are so important because here's that word. They simplify the execution and the implementation of how you're going to achieve your goals. It really just keeps you on track and keeps you focused on the end result, but you got to have some steps in the middle to get you there. And so I want to talk to you about what I call the sandwich stuff, the stuff in between the bread that a lot of times as insurance professionals and entrepreneurs, we overlook. So let's talk about what's in between the bread. What's that sandwich stuff that we're looking for? So number one of the first things I want you to think about is how many referrals are you asking for at every client interaction? Everyone. Now, I know in the industry there is a certain rule of thumb that you ask for at least 3 referrals at every client interaction. Well, Coach Mo has a different philosophy. I don't think you should put that referral number out there. I don't want you to put that in a box and say, hey, give me 3, because what's going to happen is when you ask a client for 3, they may give you 3, but most often they're going to give you 1 or 2 because they're going to say, oh, I can't remember, I can't think of anyone, or I don't know anyone. And so here is what I suggest you ask for. Hey, who are the last 10 people that you text this weekend? Now, we were all supposedly snowed in or iced in this weekend, so I know there was a lot of texting and emailing going on over the weekend. So who are the last 10 people that you can connect me with that may want to sit down and talk about their plans for their insurance future? or their financial future. See, it's different. Don't put the number out there and put yourself in this little box. Ask them, or who are the last 10 people that you tagged on Facebook? Can you connect me with them? Think a little bit differently about how you can increase those number of referrals with the same amount of work. So that's number one. Number two, how many local networking events do you plan to attend? You really got to set a goal for there. So tip number two from Coach Mo, I always suggest a minimum of one networking event per week, at least a minimum of one. Now, I really encourage high sales producers to do at least 2 networking events, and then you want to have a goal of what you're going to achieve from attending those networking events. And we'll talk about that on some other trainings, but we're going to kind of focus on, remember, the sandwich stuff, the stuff between the bread. And so I won't go into a lot of detail about networking, but you really got to have a networking goal. What's on your networking calendar for the month of January? What's on your networking calendar for the month of February? You really got to sit down and plan all of that out and be strategic. And number 3, how many LinkedIn connections are you going to send? Now, are you using LinkedIn strategically? How many people are you adding to your network, and how many personal LinkedIn messages will you send per week? Again, it's all about planning and having some strategic activity to achieve what? That end result goal, that end of the month or that end of the year result goal, the ultimate goal that we're trying to achieve. And one more tip, something else I want you to think about, is how many outbound sales calls are you going to make on a daily basis? It's so very, very important that you have some strategic plans in place in order to achieve that end of the year or that end of the month goal. So how are you going to get there? And those are just a few, and I'll share a few more with you. I'm going to be on all week sharing these tips and tools, but I'll share a couple more things that you want to think about what's between the sandwich, the sandwich stuff. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later on this week. But those are at least 4 tips that you want to think about. That's going to, how are you going to execute your goal and implement, and what are you going to implement to achieve that end result goal? So if you like this concept and you like these tips and you want to see more tips like this, please comment yes in the comment box below. Or if you know another sales agent or a producer that is having some trouble achieving their goals and they're really not sure how to get there, share this video with them, number 1. But number 2, have them connect. Go ahead and connect them with me. It's Coach Mernice Oliver, or they can visit my website for a free consultation at merniceoliver.com. So very, very easy. But I hope you benefited from this. I sincerely hope it helps you as you're thinking through the process of how you're going to achieve those goals for the year. Again, I'm Coach Mo, Queen Quiet Storm. I am bringing calm to all of your business chaos. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.